Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of February 9th. This week you have this Knight card. It says Triumph over Adversity. You have this Chimera card. It says Imagination clouds your judgment. Definitely with Neptune having moved into Aries now, you could be a little bit more imaginative. Is it a bad thing? No, not necessarily. It's only bad if you get stuck in your imagination. I think if you have some sort of dream or an imagination or you're like brainstorming and you have some sort of inspiration, as long as you take action on it, I think things will go very well for you here, Leo. So, excuse me. I think the trick for Leo is to not get stuck in the imagination or just imagining something and not taking action. You also have that Triumph over Adversity card, which is great. Could represent overcoming an obstacle or, some sort of challenge in your life that you've been dealing with. And, obviously that would be a good thing. It looks like a pretty good reading for this week here, Leo. You start in your current general energies with the High Priestess, the Judgment card, and the Knight of Wands. High Priestess, of course, is about trusting your intuition. Again, Neptune now in a fire sign definitely could make you a little bit more intuitive or, could change your intuition even. Neptune and Aries, our intuition can be more of that like first gut instinct that we have about whatever that we're having an intuition about. So we kind of need to trust that first feeling that we have about whatever it is that we're thinking about or dealing with. And if we do that, then, that'll be good. You always get the High Priestess with me, and I really think that the High Priestess for Leo is talking about kind of like exceeding your potential. The High Priestess has no roof over her head here, and so the High Priestess can be like intuition, mysteries, things like that. But she can also represent unlimited potential. You also have the Ten of Pentacles in this reading, and not only that, like everybody else this week, you have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, sometimes I think he gets to the next card and then he runs away from whatever that next card is. So this tells me that you always get very close to success. I think maybe this has happened to you in the past, where you get very close to something being successful. And I'm not saying you like run away because you're scared, but the Knight of Swords can sometimes just represent like not knowing what to do next. And so like not pushing through that part where you don't know what you're doing, right? And so I really do feel it's saying you're like very close to, building something great, Ten of Pentacles, but you have to push through that, not knowing what to do. And we'll talk more about that in this reading. You have the Judgment card. Judgment can be waking up to a purpose. I do think a lot of Leos could be discovering a purpose. It's like a purpose inside of a purpose is what I've been feeling for you. I'm pretty sure I've been saying this to you for a couple of weeks as well, Leo. And sorry, I hit the wrong camera. It's like what I feel for you is it's like something you're doing now is like a small version of what you're going to be doing in the future. And, again, I'm pretty sure I've said that to you before. So there might be a connection between like what you're doing now and what you will be doing, over the coming years. And whatever it is, I think is going to set you up for, like a legacy. Ten of Pentacles is leaving a legacy. It is building something that can support your entire family if you want to, or it could just be something that leads to a lot of success. And again, I think that whatever you're doing now, where it's like if you, let's say over the past like 2 or so years, you've been working on a project or, working on, in a new industry or something, it's like whatever that is going to lead to more. So obviously I don't know what you all do, and you're going to have to put your thinking cap and think about it, but whatever it is good. You have the Knight of Wands. I think like everybody else, I would definitely say more exploration of what you are doing in life is going to be very helpful, especially with Uranus and Gemini. I kind of think part of the secret sauce to Uranus and Gemini is to get more inputs, like get more information, get more data, get more nerdy about whatever it is that you're interested in life. It's like the more information we have, I think the better. With one rule, we have to like filter that information down, right? We have to get a lot of information, but if we stay at that top level with Uranus and Gemini, we're just going to be freaking confused, right? And so we have to learn something and then put it into practice. Did it work? Great. Do it again. If it didn't work, get rid of it, right? Plain and simple. So I think having a process for how you try new things and actually trying new things. Don't just learn something and be like, oh, that was interesting, and then do nothing with it, right? You have to like put it into practice. Yeah, you have to use it right away. And as long as you're doing that, good things will happen. So there you go. Let's see where this is going. With the High Priestess, you have the Strength card. You showing up in a strong position. I literally just feel that this is talking about you exceeding your limitations, or kind of like exploring your limits in general, and realizing that you have a lot more potential. Right? This is not a brick wall. That Ten of Pentacles. It's almost as if that Knight of Swords is treating the Ten of Pentacles as a brick wall. I think it's more like something you have to push through. It's like a membrane that you have to break through here, Leo. With the Judgment card, you have the Ace of Cups. A lot of Ace of Cups energy this week. I think because we have to stay in the flow. This week we have to make sure that things are flowing. Again, I think with all these Knight of Swords that everybody has been getting, it's like saying don't stop. I think it would be better, even if you don't know what to do. Let's say you're working on a project and you're like, I am hitting a brick wall. I don't know what to do next. I think going and finding a book that could give you an answer, or going and watching a YouTube video that could give you an answer on whatever you're stuck on, even if you're not sure about it. It's like you can learn something and still not really understand it fully. I just think the act of learning about it would kind of keep you in the flow. And that seems to be a very important message for everyone this week, so I would definitely do it. We have the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups, so if you want love, could be a little bit of love coming in for you this week as well. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. I think the Ten of Swords is saying the past is dead. We have this eclipse coming up on the 17th in your opposite sign, Aquarius. So with the first eclipse in a cycle, which this is the first eclipse in the Aquarius-Leo cycle, this one that we're entering into right now, and what I would say is the first eclipse in the cycle is always a good one for getting rid of things, getting rid of stuff that no longer serves you. I think it's interesting as well that both of these knights are facing the past, right? So the Knight of Wands can say it's not, I don't think it's saying get rid of your experiences or anything like that. But what it is saying is how you are going to be experiencing things is different. It's like, if you, in love, for example, just to use that as an example, it's like, yeah, maybe you have had very similar experiences with past people. That does not mean everyone is the same, right? So it does not mean that maybe this person is going to end exactly like the last people did, right? So it's almost like this is saying you need to let go of the old stories, Leo, that you have built up in your life so that you can have better experiences moving forward. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the second house card. It says resources on it. You have this Cancer card. It says immerse on it. Yeah, anything worth doing. I say this to Aquarius a lot, and so I'm going to say it to you. Anything worth doing is going to be worth going all the way into with that Cancer card that says immerse on it. A lot of star cards have been coming up for people lately and stuff like that. The star card, we have to go all the way in to the pool. Normally the star card, she's just dipping her toe in the water, and in that pool that's in front of her, but she has to go all the way. Second house card, resources, very good. Definitely could be increasing your resources with that Ten of Pentacles as well. Also in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Knight of Swords, Seven of Wands, and the Moon. Knight of Swords, I feel, is saying push through something, especially if you get to a point this week where you're not sure what your next step is. Some of you might already be there. Today is the February 5th. So this will be published on the 6th. So even if you're watching this early, you could be feeling a little bit stuck or something. I don't feel this is bad stuck. I think it's just I don't know what to do next, And I feel getting an answer is going to lead to, obviously, a much better result, which is the Ten of Pentacles. And that is what I would be focusing on here. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, a card of conviction. Seven of Wands says when you know that something is for you, it's for you. So it's about having that deep belief that you can accomplish something, really brainwashing yourself into success. Ten of Wands also comes up, I think, when people feel like they're not ready. He has a boot, a shoe and a boot on his feet here. The story of the Seven of Wands is that he rushed out of his home and he feels like he wasn't ready to defend his position at the top of the hill. But really, the story of the card is he's basically as ready as he's going to be. So there's, it's saying there's nothing more for you to prepare for here to get your Ten of Pentacles. All you have to do is go and get your Ten of Pentacles. And I know that's easier said than done, but, I do think it's that easy, and it can be that easy, Leo. Next, you have the Moon, which is the card that tells me you don't know what your next step is. I don't know if this is going to help or not, Leo, but you're on the right path. right? The moon, there's a path straight down to these mountains. The mountain is what the Fool has to accomplish on the card. He has to get to the mountains because that's his accomplishment. Eventually, the sun will come up. Eventually, he will have the clarity he needs to know what to do next. And really, he just has to keep going. So, again, I know it's not a good answer, but it is the answer for you, apparently, that really you just have to keep working on whatever you're working on or keep doing whatever you're doing and all this other stuff. Again, I'll give you a great example. It's like this week, there's something weird going on YouTube. Some people are clicking on videos, and it's like saying video unavailable or something like that, right? So I've seen a bunch of YouTubers and some of the groups I'm in, like, freaking out about this and stuff like that. But obviously, I've been on YouTube for a very long time, and this happens every few years, basically, or something similar, right? And so it's like, well, all these people are worrying about it. They're all getting all excited about it. They're not publishing videos because of it, and I'm just here chugging along, right? Because I know that eventually it'll get fixed, right? It's not a big deal. It's like that is kind of like what I feel for you. It's like, Ten of Pentacles, like sometimes I think there is no other answer than to keep moving forward, to just keep putting in the effort. Eventually, you're going to break through with that Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. And apparently that card is done talking. But, what I would say there is, yeah, sure, we're done. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Hermit here. Yeah, I do think it would be a good time for you to be more bold, more assertive. That could also be the thing, like needing to speak up more, needing to get more attention here, Leo. Especially if you're working on like a business or in your career, it's like maybe you need to brag more. Maybe you need to talk about what you're doing more to get more attention so that you can grow or so that you can have a breakthrough. And he's standing at the top of the mountain. So it's like you're there, Leo. You get the Hermit with me a lot in your readings, and I'm always saying you have to come down from the mountain. You get a lot of these teacher cards with me is what I would say. Like this, the Hierophant, you don't have it in this reading, I'm just saying. You have the King of Swords as well. He's like a mentor. And so it's almost like it's your time to shine, like in the sense that you're, putting your work out into the world. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups, which is like a wish or wish fulfillment coming in for you, which is amazing with this reading for sure. He is in alignment first with his wish. He is meant to look chubby on the Nine of Cups because he's about to have a feast. The reason he's meant to look chubby is because he has had a feast before. And so the Nine of Cups literally says we have to have something before we can have it, right? We have to be convinced of the energy before we can get to the Ten of Pentacles here. And so I think that this is saying, again, like me, it's like I think that, using the YouTube example, it's like I am just being a YouTuber. I'm just putting out videos, right? So I'm in the energy, right? The people who stop because of every little thing that happens on YouTube, they're not being in the energy of what they need to be in. And so that's really what's going on here. With the Moon, you have the Six of Pentacles. You have one foot in front of the other, right? Six of Pentacles is my card of just planting seeds, just putting in the work day in, day out. And again, I'm not suggesting that you like burn yourself out here, but I definitely think continuing to put in the effort on whatever you're working towards is kind of like the key to success for you this week. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Accept Help card and this Synchronicity card. So, yeah, asking for help would be a really good idea. Again, we have Pluto in Aquarius for the next, 19 years or so now. And so, obviously anything that benefits the collective is going to be very important and very helpful. And so, that's basically what I would do if I were you. I get a lot of comments from people that say they don't have people to help them. And, I get it. But it's there are plenty of groups that exist. I mean, I've been working on a hobby for a few months now, or since last summer, basically I started. Because of that, I have now joined another group for another thing that I'm doing that has nothing to do with it, right? And so it's just by going out and meeting people, trust me, I'm a Pisces. I just want to stay home all day long. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to come to your party. I don't want to leave my house or anything, right? But I've this year, I do what I say, right? So I've been talking about this since last year because I actually follow my own advice. And I've been getting out, and guess what? I've been having a great time meeting new people, getting involved in groups, doing all sorts of stuff. So if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. Again, I never want to go. I never want to leave my house, but I force myself to do it, and I always have a great time. So there's plenty of things you can do. And by the way, there are plenty of free groups Like there's like you don't have to pay to join groups for whatever hobby you're into or whatever business you're trying to build or whatever. There are plenty of people that you can find to do it with. So I would get out there. Again, the benefit of Pluto and Aquarius, it's not so much them helping you. It's the fact that them helping you be a success is what helps them. And that is the energy we need to get into with Pluto and Aquarius. It's not so much about you. It's more about them being a part, people or the collective being a part of your success in some way. So I tell people all the time, guess what? Even if you don't need advice on something, or if you don't need help, you should still be asking for help. Because by doing that, you're adding to the collective, right? And that's what I would do there. You have the Ten of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Eight of Swords, which I love this Ten of Pentacles in this reading, but I think it's something you have to get. It's like, it's like something you're building, something you're working on. And I feel you need to just push through like a short period of time here. Could even just be this week where you're looking for an answer on what to do next. And by pushing through, it's like you're going to get this. So, definitely don't give up now. It's almost like there's a point that you always get to, Leo, and then things fall apart. And I feel the Ten of Pentacles is like encouraging you to push past whatever that point is. And if you do that, good things will happen. You have the Hangman. Hangman is hanging upside down from the Tree of Knowledge and Wisdom. He is looking at things from a new perspective, and that is probably what you need this week to be successful this week, is just a new perspective. Again, people can give us new perspectives, experiences can give us new perspectives as well. You could be getting help from a person on YouTube, right? Maybe you're doing your research and looking for a next step to take to get your Ten of Pentacles, and you could get a new perspective that could show you how. And I think the Hangman is definitely talking about gaining a new perspective. I also feel pretty good about him. He is on pause. This is part of the Fool's journey where he has put himself on pause so that he can get answers. And usually when the Hangman comes up, we are like starting to move forward. So again, pretty good. You have the Eight of Swords. Again, just a tiny bit of stuck energy. I never really worry about the Eight of Swords because she's, really her problem is that she's only looking at one way of doing something when there are many. But it's really not that big of a deal. All she has to do is expand her perspective. She needs to maybe take her blindfold off so she can see more, right? And so, again, it's another card that just says expanding your perspective this week will probably help you quite a bit. And that's what I would do. That's what I would do with this Eight of Swords energy. With the Ten of Pentacles, there you go. You have the Magician. The Magician is pointing to the King of Swords. So again, the King of Swords can also be a mentor, a guide, a person who helps you. So, and it doesn't have to be a man. It could be any gender, of course. So it could just be a person who knows more than you do about something. And, again, the Magician is manifestation, but you could literally be manifesting a person that could help you get closer to your Ten of Pentacles. The Magician also wants you to use all your tools. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot in front of him. So it's like if you have tried to have your Ten of Pentacles before, and maybe you were using your swords, maybe you need to be more creative with your wands, right? Or maybe you need to inject more of your heart into something with the cups. The list goes on and on there. But I would look at how you have been trying to build something, whatever it is you're trying to get here, whatever the Ten of Pentacles is for you, it's probably something important. And I would think about how you have been doing it. And like, is there another tool that you could use? Probably. With the Hangman, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Very good. Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes. So some sort of insight or information this week could be changing your fortunes or creating a turnaround. A new perspective could be creating a turnaround as well. Again, the Wheel of Fortune, it's funny that we were talking about how it's like, I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, Leo, other than sometimes I think it's just time that is required, right? With that Knight of Swords, maybe he just needs to just keep walking towards the Ten of Pentacles to get it. It's like in time, with effort, he will get there. And again, we're not talking about burning yourself out, but it's funny with the Wheel of Fortune that it's like sometimes we're up here, but like maybe sometimes we're down here, right? And it's like it just takes time for the wheel to spin and for us to get back on top again. And maybe that's like the period you're in or have been in. With the Eight of Swords, you have the King of Cups here. King of Cups could be your emotions. With the Eight of Swords, the thing about the Eight of Swords is she is standing in this shallow pool of water. And the shallow pool of water represents shallow emotions. She might be making a bigger deal out of her situation than she needs to. And so with the King of Cups, he needs to make sure that he's like feeling his emotion, but he needs to make sure he's not drowning in emotion. And so again, if you're like, this could be about anything you're trying to decide on. It says like, are you making too big of a deal out of something? I don't know. I'm not you here, Leo. Only you can answer that question. So I would think about it. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this discovery card. It says, there's still an essential piece of the puzzle that you have been yet to discover. A missing piece of information must fall into... I mean, that is like the entire reading. A missing piece of information must fall into place before you will know your next step. That is the whole reading. You have this fortune card. It says, when fortune appears in your life, limitations disappear. As you sit back and watch your dreams manifest before your eyes, you are filled with a profound sense of gratitude and wonder. Yes. So I think maybe you've been looking for this missing piece for a while. And that's really what the reading's been saying. You have the King of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Death card. Part of me feels like this is you here, Leo. I mean, part of me feels that you are kind of becoming a teacher, whether you realize it or not. This has been a message for you for a couple of years, I think, at least, in my readings. Again, I'm not saying you're like going to be a teacher at a school, maybe, some of you, but it's more like you are teaching through doing. Pluto and Aquarius is going to cause this, right, in your life. So a lot of you, I think, could be getting a lot of attention for... standing out, or you could be getting attention for like what you do. And obviously that would be a good thing. I also think this could be you attracting a mentor or a person who can help you. So, I would use that energy as well. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups can be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. So if you're looking for love, sure, could be a knight in shining armor. Not really a love reading. I mean, there's a little bit of love here. Could also just be that, you see a person as someone who can really help you. And obviously that would be good. You have the Death card, so big changes. I will say a lot of death energy this week, which makes sense because we have an eclipse next week on the 17th. And, that eclipse, this eclipse in particular, I really feel is asking everyone to make space, right? So that could be any area of your life. If you have money problems, it's like, can you learn something to fix those money problems? That doesn't mean you have to fix them right now. It just means learn something to make the space for it, right? And so I tell everyone, we don't have to be perfect. Like the beautiful thing about the 2026 and maybe the next few years is the universe is not saying you have to be perfect at everything you do. It's just saying like you have to try, right? That's it. So even just learning a way to make space for something better is all we have to do. And so I would like pick one, even if you just pick one thing this week to, explore, learn about, you will see great improvements in the future. And trust me, you're going to want those improvements. With the King of Swords, you have the Four Wands. Yeah, I would make, Four Wands could be marriage, blah, 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 whatever, who cares, right? But what I care more about is this, right here. It's like you committing to that, your 10 of Pentacles. Could that include love? Absolutely. 10 of Pentacles is the big picture. It is everything you want and desire in your life. So I think this is really encouraging you to commit. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands about taking the lead, getting out into the world. So he has this world right here. And, a lot of you could be getting out into the world more or deciding to take the lead more in your life, which I think would be good for you. I'm not really feeling much here other than taking the lead. With the Death card, you have the Justice card. Yeah, Justice is like cause and effect. I'm kind of getting like karma here as well. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice card, and which could be like positive karma returning to your life, or getting karma for things that you've been through in the past. So that could be good. You have this Kite card. It says vacation on it. Yeah, maybe you need a break in your life, or maybe you need to take a break from something. If you need a vacation, take a break. You have this Tiger. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. Yeah, you always get these risk cards with me, Leo. I'm a big fan of Leo taking like more calculated risks, risks that you think about, things that you plan out, and having a plan for those risks. You have this involvement with the Law card. You do have the Justice card, so if you are involved in anything legal or involving law, this could be like justice coming in that situation, so that would be pretty good. You have this chair-filled card. It says someone new entering your life. Yeah, like I said, there is a little bit of love here, but this could be a guide or a mentor or something as well. But what I would say, like next week, that eclipse is actually good for love. Is it a good eclipse? I not really. I don't really like it that much. If I'm being honest, it's square Uranus, so I don't know. It could be pretty crazy, but I think on a personal level, it's also conjunct Venus, so which is very positive, and it actually could soften that square to Uranus a little bit, which is good. But what I would say is on a personal level, again, it could be definitely attracting like a fated connection into your life if you want love. You have this July card around your birth time, and you have this V card. It says victory in some endeavor. So between now and July, you could definitely be having a victory on something that you're working on, especially if you follow through, right? With that Knight of Swords and Ten of Pentacles. That's really like the only thing that you need to focus on with this reading, I think, is just follow through. Time. You know, it's like, I know you might not want to hear that, but July will be here before you know it, right? And we're not talking about burning yourself out either. It's like if I were to start a new YouTube channel, it's like, and someone told me between, if you worked on this between now and July, you'd get 1 million subscribers. I'd be like, great. I would just follow a process. I would just do my 4 videos every single day. I would just publish them, and that's it, right? And so I think that's what this reading is saying. It's like there's some simple steps that you can continue to take. Yeah, maybe you've been at the bottom of the wheel with the Wheel of Fortune, but I want to encourage you to have that victory, Leo, so keep going. I like this reading for you, Leo. Definitely a different message, so thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.